Happy Friday the 13th again. To the people who watch the Horror Syndicate Discourse, to the people who watch Supernatural Syndicate, the people who watch Rage of Razor, to the people who watch Up All Night, happy Friday the 13th. It is Friday the 13th still, and Seth and I promised a Jason Lives episode, and here we are. I got my Jason Lives poster shirt on that I love, and we're going to get into it in just a minute, but I want to make sure to do, my due diligence, as they say. Subscribe to the Horror Syndicate and Rage of Razor on YouTube, please. I'd like to hit 100 subscribers soon for Rage of Razor, and we're getting closer to 1,300 on the Horror Syndicate. Also, there's a Facebook page. We just rated all the Terminator movies on Rage of Razor, and we've been rating Friday the 13th movies, and we're not going to stop till we get all the way through them. And eventually we'll do a fan ranking. Happy Friday the 13th, buddy. We're going to do a fan ranking of your scores for all of the Friday the 13th movies. I was going to have the audience score for Jason Lives. I can still do it if Seth will give me like 5 minutes to do it. I was strapped for time. My daughter is a little bit under the weather. I had to go to the store, and then she's like, "Can I have some Taco Bell?" And I'm like, "Taco Bell? Yes, you can, because I'm going to get some too." Anyway, without further ado, Seth is here. Seth, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
You know what? I'm pretty fucking good, man. I really am.
That's good.
Yeah. I wanted to show you these. I got these at Walmart yesterday. Have you seen these? They're like the superpower figures from when we were kids. I don't know if you had any of these. The capes go on and
Yeah.
off. Like, yeah, man. I saw these. I was like, yep, buying those. So anyway, how's your Friday the 13th going so far?
It's been a
That's
long
right.
day, and
Yeah, busy.
yeah,
Busy for me, man. I know you were busy when you could have been getting busy. Last year on Friday the 13th, I watched Jason Goes to Hell, and it was in this order: Jason Goes to Hell, Jason Lives, Friday the 13th Part 3, Intercourse with My Girlfriend, and then Jason Takes Manhattan. And then she broke up with me because of Jason Takes Manhattan. Go figure. No.
I don't blame her
Uh,
for that one.
yeah, but so far this year, I've only been able to watch the first Friday the 13th. This morning, I watched it. I do love the first one, and it's got its quirks. And when I was watching the beginning, I really like watched the beginning because I kind of just don't pay attention to that, the early 1958 part. And I was watching it today, and I was like, I'd like to see a movie set in 58 when she goes bonkers. I think it's long overdue. I think that'd be a cool movie. I like their little yellow and blue little suits they wear, and I think that'd be a fun movie. It's called Camp Blood.
Yeah, I mean, down the road. I mean, it's been so long. I think we need Jason back, and then maybe sometime later they can do that Pamela story.
Yeah. I know Vince was talking to us one time. Again, Vince DeSanti from Never Hike Alone. He mentioned wanting to do a Pamela short at some point, which could be good. Um, I mean, the way Vince makes movies. If you haven't seen Never Hike Alone, I'm talking about him. He does such a great job. It's like, why not? Make more stuff after Never Hike Alone is done, though. Which, if you missed the last show, we just showed the 5-minute preview for Never Hike Alone 2. All right. Oh, that'd be good. Actually, I forgot about that show. That could be the show, the Crystal Lake show. It should be the Crystal Lake show, right?
Yeah, I think that's what they're planning on doing, starting with.
Well, why didn't you stop me
Pamela.
instead of making me sound like an idiot? God.
Because I wanted to make you sound like an idiot.
Fair enough.
That's what friends do.
Is that what we are now? Friends? Thought we were lovers.
Well, I mean, the last payment didn't go through, so we'll see.
True.
Yeah.
True. So is it Victor Miller's project? This one, the Crystal Lake show.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, it is.
That would be kind of interesting too. Seeing, is this Michael Myers trolling? Compadres. Yep, it is. All right. Yes. Well, Victor Miller. All right. So, like we said tonight, we're going to be talking about uh, the masterpiece that is Jason Lives, which is my favorite, personal favorite. Seth and I had talked about how like he used to go back and forth, right? I mean, really, you can't go wrong with either uh, Final Chapter or Jason Lives, really. Hey, Alex. Oh, by the way, everybody, don't forget to like and share this, please. Helps us get people in. And it's like sometimes you feel like watching Final Chapter, sometimes you feel like watching Jason Lives. You know?
The great thing about them is like they have two totally different tones. So like if you're feeling like a, you know, uh, kind of a scary or slasher heavy Friday 13th, you go with Final Chapter. But if you want the kind of fun one, you throw on Jason Lives. Those are my two favorites in the series, hands down.
Yeah, but at the same time, you say fun one, they're both pretty fun in their own right. I mean, especially we talked about in our part 4 show, that last act, man. It's white knuckle time, for no,
Yeah.
it's really good when the killing really begins. That's when the movie really picks up.
Yeah. Like the fun, the difference in the fun is just in the tones of the two.
Yeah, yeah. Part 4 is a little bit more serious. It doesn't have the silly kind of like the does everybody think I'm some kind of fart head? Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm counting these up.
Of the
Yeah, and
audience.
yeah, because I want to get the scores. And the problem is like it wasn't a problem with the 2022 movies because the 22 movies were only getting like some of them were 15 ratings. This is like 80 something. Um,
Oh yeah.
okay, yeah, that let's ask that. Anybody who is watching, please let us know what your favorite Friday the 13th is because you've heard ours. Now we want to hear yours.
Yeah. Part 2 is awesome. That's my third favorite.
So,
I just
like,
don't like the beginning.
yeah, with Alice, I think my
Yeah.
favorite is Jason Lives for sure, but I'm really like warming up to 2, and I really like 5. And
Yeah.
it's hard to. Actually, I'm gonna watch 5 after the show because that was requested by my daughter. She's like, we got to watch a Friday the 13th, and I was like, well, which one do you want to watch? And she said, which one did we leave off on? And I said, well, the last one we watched together was 4. She's like, okay, I guess 5 then. I'm like, all right, you're the boss. So anyway, let's get into it.
You should have quoted Joey to her.
Do what? Oh, well, really? Yeah, I can't do that as well as you do. You pull that thing off, man. Uh, but anyway, let's get into this a little bit. Talk about the things we like, the things we don't like. How I think Tommy McLaughlin was the best director in the series. I think you may oppose that. Do
No,
you think
I
Victor Miller's
100%
a?
agree. That's why
Oh, okay.
I was kind of shocked with the scores because I thought for sure that my Jason List score was going to be higher than my Final Chapter score because I feel like Tom Toughlin is not only a better director, but he's also a better writer.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot going for Jason Lives. I mean, entertainment value, I'd rate that a 10 because it's highly entertaining.
It is. It's very entertaining. There's a lot of fun to be had in this one, and it's not like I talked about how part 4 is entertaining, mostly towards the end. This one's straight through entertaining. You've got a lot of colorful characters in this one, and it's a good time. Jason Lives is a good movie. It's meta, and has a good mix of horror and comedy. I have no negatives. I just prefer the more serious final chapter. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I stand.
Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so what are some of the things? Let's talk about the bad things about this movie first. Anything?
I got
You got nothing?
I got nothing.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna come out and say it. No bare breasts. No bare breasts. You
Yeah,
know, you guys
I got
know
a friend
how
that
I
calls
am.
this.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, I got a friend that calls this the boobless wonder.
I had a girlfriend like that. The boobless wonder. Um, no, I think yeah, there's not much wrong with it. Uh, I'm sure. Well, I guess there's two different Jasons in this. The one that had a thick booty, and the uh, C.J. Graham, who to me was the best Jason of all. But I'm kind of biased because I love this one so much. Uh, but what do you think? CJ Graham, are you a King Hodder guy? I know you like between those two because I know how you feel about Ted White. But like, how do you feel about between those two? Because a lot of people immediately say Kane Hodder. You know?
I am not one of those people. I prefer CJ over the two of them. Uh, I've always said that like I admire Kane's love for the character and for the franchise and for the fans, but for me, he's in arguably four of the worst movies in the series, and
That's not arguable. That's
his
true.
Jason his Jason looked really cool in part 7, but I don't really feel like he did anything special. I think he gets a lot of praise because he's been in 4 of them. And
Yeah, and they're like, oh, he came up with turn with your whole body, and I'm like, I don't know. CJ did that a few times. I don't think
yeah,
CJ gets any credit at all, like almost any credit, and it kind of
no,
bugs
not
me
for
because,
that.
huh?
So not for that. No.
No, and I think he does do a lot of the same shit Kane does, but Kane gets the credit because he's everybody's favorite. And I like Kane, but yeah, you're right. He's in the worst movies of the series. Um, well, other than part 3, but that's my own thing. And Freddy versus Jason, that's one of the worst ones too, in my opinion. Again, my opinion.
But he
Uh,
should have been in that though.
he should have been in that, and I can't wait to get to Freddy versus Jason because we're going to talk about that whenever we get there. It actually has a story, not just random teenagers getting killed by Jason. Um, yeah. This is part of the Tommy Jarvis trilogy, if you will, which I like. This was the strongest. There's like two different trilogies within the first 8 movies. Really, if you think about it, there's 2, 3, and 4, and then there's 4, 5, and 6. And
Yeah.
2, 3, and 4 are very strong. I'm not gonna lie. It's just the middle chapter isn't the greatest for me. What's funny about that is 4 is arguably one of the best or fan favorite. 6 is one of the best, and 5 is the weak one. Even though I like 5, but there's a lot of fans out there. It's the Halloween 3 of Friday the 13th. Unfortunately, it's come around a long way from me, and I hope it just comes around for a lot more people because it's totally a good movie. Yeah, he should have been in it. That's definitely something we're going to talk about when we get to Freddy versus Jason. Which should probably be our last Friday the 13th. I think that's the last one we're going to do. We'll do the remake before we do that one. What do you think? You okay with that?
Okay.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
prefer the remake a thousandfold to Freddy versus Jason. I watched it last year, and it just it's not like it's.
I watched it last.
Oh shit! My voice sounds stupid. I'm just trying to share this video out. But it just didn't really. It doesn't hold up like the other ones. Like the other ones are. I also believe Friday the 13th kind of belongs in the 80s. That's something I think, and this one just, you know, They didn't like the cast. Anyway, we don't need to talk about Freddy versus Jason. We need to talk about this. All right. So things that you didn't like, not much. Mine was the boobs and the fact they used two different Jasons. What about some of your favorite things about this one?
One of the things I really liked is the fact that they brought in actual kids to the camp.
Yes. Yes.
So it did have some stakes, which was a good way to, which was balanced to sort of the more humorous side, is that there was kids there, so there was stakes. I really like Tom Matthews as Tom Jarvis. But of course, I like all three actors that played Tommy. I think all three of them were really strong, and all that. But one of my favorite things,
favorite, by the way.
Yeah, probably mine too. My favorite things about this movie, though, was the way it opens up. You know, it starts off with like the forest and everything, and you got the music.
Yeah,
and,
well, you
and
see
that
that fox or whatever. Yeah. Oh, the coyote. Yeah. You see the coyote eating at some food, and then Tommy Jarvis's truck with Rorschach or whatever his name is. Rorschach. What is his name? Fucking Horshack. What is that his name?
But there was like an energy to it. There was like urgency with the character, you know, like he was determined, and just like the way it was shot and the way the music was, like it hits the ground running.
It does. And that's one of the things.
Literally, it's literally a fun movie from start to finish. Like, no lie.
You're never the way it audience score, by the way.
Oh really?
Oh my god, the audience scores pretty high. Yeah, and V says it perfectly here. It adds so much to the atmosphere. He's right. I can't wait to have him on the Scream shows. You know, when we talk about Scream.
Yeah.
No.
His favorite franchise.
That's one of the best parts about this is the way it's shot. You know, I mean, Tom and the cinematography, Tom McLaughlin's direction. There's so much good about this. Even there's a lot of assholes. There's a lot of like old Universal horror vibes along with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Which is something that I really respect. What else do you like about it other than Tommy and
let's see here. I liked the opening. I liked Tommy, and I liked the camp being open with kids.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Sheriff Garris.
Yeah, I love. He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. I liked Megan. She was kind of a little spitfire, you know.
Yeah, wasn't she my favorite when we counted them down?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think she was. Excuse me. Oh man. Yeah, I you're not you're hitting every point of what makes this movie good. You know, everything. Yeah, Frankenstein in particular. Yeah, I mean Carlos, General, whatever, and the resurrection.
Yeah.
I think she is the best final girl. Go ahead.
The RV scene was really fun with Court and with Jason taking it over and it flipping, and
especially when you find
Sheriff
out what it means
to
the crew.
Yeah, I know. That's a funny story.
Well, the other thing is, like, this one doesn't get the credit I think it deserves for some of the better kills. Like Sheriff Garris, you were about to say, he gets his back broken in half. And then, yeah, I mean, sure, there was the shish kebab with it, you know, the people in the moped, which was I think it was not a reshoot, but a pickup shoot because they wanted more kills.
Yeah.
And then let's see, the one I didn't care for, and you didn't get to see it, was the broken glass with the drunk guy. I did like how he throws the bottle and Jason caught it. He's like, what? You know, and it's the funny part though is that he says, "You're gonna be the death of me," and
Yeah.
It was, you know. There's a lot of fun stuff. You gotta love Court also as a
Yeah.
character. Like when he's
Yeah.
talking about the piles of rocks and shit with the kids is pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
I like it. I like this movie. This is just full of good characters, in my opinion, you know, and great parts. Even their sex scene with Darcy DeMoss is pretty good. How long's the song? Only 10 more minutes. Bullshit. That song's not 10 minutes. How many songs are that long? And he's not gonna last. Come on. Even her death was good too. Getting pushed through the
Yeah.
uh, the whatever the wall of the RV. That was really cool. So there's a lot
Yeah.
of cool stuff in this one, and there's not really like this is why in my when you send over your score, I was like, what are we going to argue about you know the two movies because when we were talking about Final Chapter, I kind of came around on liking that better than I did before, and here we are. We fucked it over. We fucked ourselves over.
We have plenty of movies to argue about, Ray.
I don't know about that. What else? What else can we argue about?
We'll
That's
find
actually one of
something.
Nathan's favorite things. You will find some. Well, we did talk about Return of the Living Dead and Day of the Dead, but we both respect both of those, and I think we both like them. But trying
Yeah.
to figure out which one might be better could be fun. With Friday the 13th, Jason Lives in Final Chapter. You know, I feel like if I threw them both up in the air, they'll probably both land at the same time to try to figure out which one's better. You know,
Yeah.
so I don't think there is any any point really to see which is better because I don't know. Jason Lives does a lot for me. It was the first one I saw when I was like 7. We can debate part 5, but after this, the quality of the series goes down the toilet. I like part 7. We'll talk about part 7 next week, and I did part 5 last week. Seth had to miss out because he was stuck in a bear trap in the woods. Um, I thought it sounded good.
I was saving a bear from a bear trap in the woods.
That's what it was. Yeah, he was actually it had poison. Got shot by a poison dart, and he had to put it out of his misery. Then he went to a bar and gave the guys poison and cut through a bottle with one swipe. Or no, that was the girl that you met there. The with her katana. Oh wait, that's
Oh, right. You're talking about the time I went to Japan, right?
yeah. You went to Japan after that. All last week.
Yeah.
Fell in love with some girl. Had like 25 arrows with like steel cables to connect it. That's Wolverine.
Still
Anyway,
hurts a little bit.
yeah, I bet it does. To be honest, like as much as I love Jason Lives, I don't know what to say about this because I like it's not one that I have any problems with. You know, I like talking about when I guess I like talking about when I have problems with movies. I love Tommy's plan of how to stop Jason. He knows he's unstoppable. You know, he knows that like well he especially after he resurrected him the way he resurrected him. You know, and that scene alone is one of the best scenes in the entire series in my opinion. Which I think there are a lot of those in this movie. Is you know he he like I don't know what's going through Tommy's mind, but he starts stabbing him with that fence post, you know, and he's like, "Yeah, fuck you, Jason," and he just gives him his mask back. It's like, Tommy, you son of a bitch, why'd you give him his mask back?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was like kind of loosely following the character's arc from before, where he was, crazy. He mentioned something about stopping the hallucinations, so that was kind of
Mm-hmm.
like a reference to 5.
Yeah,
Um, just going in the opposite direction of where they were going with part 5.
so I'm glad they did. I'm glad they didn't make him the killer, and because first of all, that opening sequence from them driving through and following until they get to the I mean, the weather is great. It's getting ready to storm, you know, and
Yeah.
then they open up the grave. You see gross ass Jason. You know, Tommy goes ape shit, and Hoss is just kind of like, you know, not sure what to do, and he ends up being the first kill of the movie. You know, punched right through the chest. We barely get to see Jason without his mask on, which is kind of cool. I like though that he gets kind of like he gets a fucking like a utility belt in this movie, like Batman. It's got the knife
Yeah,
pouches and everything on there. He wears these gloves and stuff. He's like upgraded after he gets hit
yeah,
by lightning. It's a lot of fun, that opening scene, and then we get the James Bond opening, the barrel opening, and it's
yeah,
so cool and clever, and like now that's one of the things that stuck with me after seeing it as a kid was that slashing in the screen and all the blood flowing, because
yeah.
I was pretty young when I saw that. How old were
Well,
you when you saw it?
what's that?
No, go ahead, finish your thought, and then you can answer that.
Um, what was I gonna say? Oh well, it's clever that they did that too, because I mean, this is the one where Jason became an icon,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
more so, more so
I
than
agree.
villain. So that was kind of clever. What were you gonna say though?
How old were you when you first saw this one?
Uh, I don't remember. I was in high school, I
In the
believe.
high school?
Yeah, I must
This
have
seems
been. I must have been 16 because I remember seeing it. I went over to a friend's place after working. Yeah, I think I was 16.
I'm pretty sure I was 6 because I saw it. My mom rented it, of course, because she loved horror movies. And I watched the whole thing with her because there's a guy in a hockey mask and he looked cool, and he was cool, and he still is cool. And this one is probably the safest to show any kids too, which is something like because I this was the first one I wanted to show my son, but somehow he accidentally saw Jason X first, and that's going to be there on his permanent record. What was the first Jason movie you saw? Jason X. Sorry, buddy.
The kid doesn't have a chance.
I know, right? And I think Helena's might have been Jason or Friday 13th Part 3. So, which honestly, I think that is a better one to see first than Jason X. So, even though I'm not a big fan of that one, but
Yeah,
and I remember my nephew. Well, he saw Never Hike Alone, and he really liked that, and he's like, I want to see a real Jason movie. I was like, that was a real Jason movie, and so he was over here. We popped in Jason Lives and watched that. Yeah, yeah. I don't casually watch Freddy versus Jason ever. Never really did. I liked it in the theater, and then kind of, but I'll take it back. Jason X, I was actually preparing for a podcast. I was supposed to be on a podcast that was talking about Jason X, and then that ended up falling through. And it was great. I ended up watching that for nothing because it sure wasn't for entertainment. I would show my kids Jason X's Punishment. Yeah, that's funny.
yeah.
Anyway,
I showed my I showed my daughters Jason Lives first because, and I showed it to him like years ago because I mean, there's no nudity in it. You know.
the killings are somewhat mild, but they're good. Like
Yeah.
not as much blood, except for the room where the redhead girl, the only person's name I can't remember in the whole movie, is she's torn apart. Other than that, there's not much blood. I mean, Garrus gets cracked in half. He throws a knife at one guy. You know, what else is there? There's like 17 or 18. No, Sissy's the black girl. I don't the redhead. I don't remember her name. But yeah, at Court gets what, a knife in the throat. Is that what he gets, or does he get
Temple.
his throat slit? Temple. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. There's not. I mean, and plus, it's kind of a funny movie, in some ways. You got to love the caretaker. You got to love Court and how dumb he was, and the kids. The Jake, my brother-in-law, Nathan's favorite part. One of his favorite things was, what were you going to be when you grew up? When the kids are hiding under the bed, and that
Yeah.
that was always funny. It's good stuff. And the girl Nancy, kind of a nod. Is her name Nancy? The redhead? So I know the little girl's name is Nancy. I gotta look it up now. because it's going to bother me. I've decided I'm going to make a fan film called Jason Loves, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
No. Yeah, Sissy, Lisbeth, Seth disappeared, so I'm by myself again. Let's see. Her name is Larry. No, I'm joking. I don't know what her name is. Nikki? That's Darcy DeMoss. Paula? I think it was Paula. Carrie Noonan. I think that's right. Seth's, I guess, having connectivity issues. My son said he needs me. Seth Rooney, you okay? Did you get kicked or did you do it yourself?
I got kicked. I don't know. This happened to me 4 times the other night when we did our top 25.
I know. It's luckily, like I said, it was happening when we had our images up. By the way, if you haven't seen, we did our top 25 of 2022. It's on our YouTube and Facebook page. And if you go to horrorsyndicate.com, you can skip the video, which I don't want you to do, but you can. It's the first post on the horrorsyndicate.com. Actually, looks really good because I use those images that I use from the for the show. All right, what else are we going to talk about with this one? Because I'm anxious to show everybody your score.
What's your favorite kill?
Sheriff Garris. That might be my favorite kill in the whole series. Yeah, because like I thought about maybe when we do our rating show, our ranking show for this, I thought we could do top 5 favorite kills, top 5 final girls, which we've already done, top 5, looks for Jason or something like that, because my favorite kills, like a lot of people go with the sleeping bag from part 7. They go with the the Jason X, the liquid nitrogen or whatever. There's a lot of good ones in Jason. That's one thing I can't wait to talk about with Jason Goes to Hell. There's a lot of good ones in Jason Goes to Hell that people take that movie for granted, I think. What's that?
That's a great ones.
Yeah. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is the car door and the lady getting slammed on the car door. That whole assault on the diner, there's a lot of good stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Seth, I gotta step out for a second. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay. So for everyone watching, what is your favorite kill in Jason Lives? Also, character. Also, favorite scene. Also, I don't know. Say something.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I never said I was a host.
That was Reynolds closing the door after he took the trash out. I heard a big slam. I'm like, what the hell is that? You host the Supernatural show. What's your favorite series out of the Nightmare Halloween? Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite of the 3 series, if that's what you're asking. Seth, that's is that yours, Nightmare, or is it Halloween?
It's so fucking tough. It's tough. I can't answer that at the moment.
Well, I think there's a great way to decide. Happy Friday the 13th, Ed. You remember when we did the Hawes death is great, actually. That's another good one. Hole right through the damn chest, still beating heart. When we combined all the movies in the series and did the rankings that way, if you look at your top 10, whichever series dominates the top 10, that's your favorite. That's what I'm saying right now. Because mine, I believe there are 4 Elm Street movies in my top 10 of all of the 33 or whatever movies it is. What we did was we took. Go ahead.
I was gonna say mine was the top 10 was mostly Street and Halloween.
It'd be funny if there was 2 Friday the 13th and 4 Elm Streets and 4 Halloweens.
Yeah, probably is.
So what we did was we took the 3 series and we ranked every movie from the series. So all the Elm Street movies, all the Friday the 13th movies, all of the Halloween movies, and ranked each. And did we do after Halloween kill or Halloween ends? I don't
Yeah.
remember if we did. Okay, it's somewhere on our timelines. Then we had Nate do it too. It was a good time.
Pretty
I
sure we
love
did that.
ranking stuff. Huh? We did that right
So
after
I'm pretty
Halloween
sure
ends.
that we did that after.
I'm gonna look real fast because I'm pretty sure I can find it. All I need to do is type in Halloween ends because I only talked about it like twice. Let's see. Oh my
Was it like 33
Halloween
movies?
my Halloween rankings. Number 13, Halloween ends. This was right after I saw the movie. Number 12, Halloween Resurrection. Oh man. That's it's not very kind of me. That's not very Christian of me. I don't think I have it on my timeline. I thought I did. I guess not, because July 26th, I Want More Loomis. After Halloween ends, I want a new sequel to John Carpenter's Halloween. The flashback in Halloween Kills is the best part of the movie. Dr. Loomis is one of my favorite horror characters of all time, and well, in any type of movie. I like when I write stuff on Facebook. This was in October. Okay, I got it. I found it, by the way. It's November 2nd. After making the bold claim that Halloween Ends dethroned Resurrection as the worst in the series, I have to rewatch Resurrection. I will be honest, the beginning is pretty decent, but the rest is silly. But at least they tried something different. Tried. Gotta love Busta Rhymes and Dangertainment. Okay, bye. That was my post. Okay, bye. So here we go. So there are 33 movies. My top 10 is Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Halloween 2, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Halloween 3, Halloween 4, Halloween, Jason Lives, A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, A Nightmare on Elm Street 5. So if you're keeping count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there are 5 Halloween movies versus 4 Elm Street movies. So I wonder if I can find
I'm trying to
yours.
look at my list.
Did you find it?
I'm
Just type in
looking.
Halloween in the search bar on Facebook. No, Nightmare 5. No, Nightmare 5. If you want to know where I rank that, I will tell you. And then go to posts at the top of the thing. You'll find it. You'll find okay. Halloween
Oh,
5.
I found it. I just.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Halloween 5 is ranked number 28 on my list. So what's your top 10?
Number 1 is Carpenter's Halloween. Number 2 is Elm Street, the original. Number 3 is Dream Master. Number 4 is Halloween 3. Number 5 is Halloween 2. 6 is Elm Street 3. 7 is Final Chapter. 8 is Halloween 4. 9 is Jason Lives, and 10 is Halloween 2018.
Halloween.
I thought I had Nightmare over there.
Good night. Are you leaving already? Are we boring you? Good night. You have 5 Halloweens to 4 or 3 Elm Streets and 2 Friday the 13th. So there you go. Halloween's your favorite series. The thing is, like, when I think about you, Seth, because I sometimes lay in bed and I look at the ceiling and think, boy, Seth is a Halloween fan. No, but that's one of the things I think of you is Halloween, werewolves, of course, and for some reason subspecies. Halloween 4 is really good. I love subspecies. But yeah, we did a whole show. We did a show on that, didn't we? Ranking all of these.
Yeah,
we did.
I believe so.
Yeah,
it was like a 3-hour
so there's
episode.
A show somewhere. Yeah, was it 4 hours, 3 hours?
3 hours, I believe.
Man, back in November, I'm guessing. Yeah, it was a good time. Uh, one of these days,
Hey, I'll be
well, no.
back.
Okay, go ahead. I'll
Good boy
leave
has
this.
to go outside, I think.
All right. You have to go outside. All right. I'll take over from here. All right. First of all, I want to ask you all, what is your favorite, or who is your favorite character other than Jason from Friday the 13th in general? Doesn't have to be any certain movie, it could be anyone. And what is your favorite kill from Friday the 13th? Any of the movies. Okay. It can't, first of all, it can be the sleeping bag, it can be the nitrogen, it could be whatever. I just want to know in the comments what your favorites are because we're going to eventually do that on our final show. Yeah, that's a good movie. I saw that when I was a kid too. Tommy Jarvis is your favorite character. Yeah, Reggie the Reckless. Hey, nothing wrong with that. He's instrumental in the death of Roy Burns, if you think about it. I love Reggie the Reckless. I love him. He's a good one. I mean, it's hard not to love Tommy because he's in the most movies other than, I guess, Jason, really. But if I don't pick Tommy, I don't know. That's a tough one. Demon. I got a funny thing today. So me and my kids all have Friday the 13th shirts, multiple, by the way. My favorite character is the hand. That's a good kill. Yeah, that's a guy walking on his hands, and that's a good shot too. The way they shot that. Anyway, we were having lunch at this great Mexican restaurant called Tres Caminos, and I got this chimichanga. It was like this fucking big. It was huge. It's called a monster chimi. It's got steak and chicken in it. Anyway, my daughter, she ordered the enchiladas. My 9-year-old daughter, and she looks at the plate. She goes, "These enchiladas look good." And then she goes, oh, "Daddy, them darn enchiladas," because she can't say damn enchiladas. It was a funny moment. My daughter's cute. I got her doing that on my Instagram. If you want to follow me, it's Rayzor33 on Instagram. But she's just them darn enchiladas. It's really funny. I think she's funny. I think she's cute. But that's my daughter, of course. Yeah, my daughter is looking forward to watching some Friday the 13th after this. She's watching Frozen right now. Um, Seth's not back yet. I guess he's smoking and letting the dog out. This is kind of funny story about letting the dog out. My friend, he was kind of seeing my wife's best friend, and she came over so they could get together. And while me and my wife were at work, they stayed at our apartment. I was like, "Hey, just take Belle out." Belle was my dog, and the girl says to my buddy, she says, "All right, we're gonna go walk the dog, and then I'm gonna jack you off." And so we started calling that getting jacked off, walking the dog. Seth's back. Frozen the 13th. Just I removed you, and then hey, ha! I just talked about my friend getting jacked off.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, walking the dog. So anyway, you ready to get to some scores, or is there anything else you want to go over before we do that? That's pain behind him, by the way. He did.
Yes. Still got to finish it, but
It's pretty good, man. Head punch, yeah.
yep.
Julius. All right, let's get to these bad boys. Seth, I'm gonna do mine first, and people are gonna be surprised.
Perfect.
So this is my favorite Friday the 13th movie. I gave it a 78%, and there's my dumb face smiling.
Oh.
I know I love this movie. Don't get me wrong, but I guess like there's still flaws with it, and there are things I don't like about it. I love that we get a great soundtrack from Alice Cooper. Well, not soundtrack, but a few songs from Alice Cooper, uh, especially "The Man Behind the Mask," which my kids love that song. And I love the characters. It's just I am an asshole. What did I say earlier about being a prick? About scoring movies. I'm really bad at it. Like I have a hard time giving anything a 10, any category. And I know there was at least one 10 in here. I did this weeks ago. I was like, well, maybe I'll reassess mine, but I decided not to because that wasn't fair. Because otherwise, the combined score would have been so much higher. So 78% is where I'm at on that, which is the highest of all of the movies for my rating. But Seth, you ready for yours? You ready to explain yourself?
I'll explain myself.
You got some explaining to do, mister. Give me 1 second and I'll throw yours up there. Are you sure we don't need the vampire scores?
I think we already covered that.
Yeah. That was on Discourse, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Jason destroys Crispin Glover. That's in part 4. Where'd you put the? Yeah, I know. Just wait till we get to Scream. Scream's gonna get a 95. Here's
100,
Seth's.
easy.
Easy 100, yeah. 86%. Go ahead.
86%. Yeah, I stand by that too. It's a Friday 13th movie, so obviously it has its flaws. It's not going to be perfect, but I think in comparison, especially to the previous 5, I feel like the writing is much better. Again, as we mentioned earlier, Tom McLaughlin is probably the most talented director to take on this series. The entertainment factor, that's a perfect 10 for me.
I think that's where
really
the 10 was for me too.
Yeah. The kills, I really liked the kills. I thought the effects were really good. The score was good. Just overall, it's a really fun movie, and I have a great time with it. It's a movie I can throw on anytime and still have fun with it. It never gets old for me. It's a party movie, if you want to have friends over, have some beer, put on a good movie, just to have fun with. This is the one. It's also the one that's good for showing kids, introducing kids into the series too.
Kids love Jason, so
yeah. Well, and this is just a good start. I mean, it's overall a really fun movie, and I think it's deserving of 86%.
Yeah.
The end.
That's why I wanted to reassess, because I was like, maybe I rated mine too low, and it is, but I'm going to stick to what I gave it because I don't want to be like, oh, you went and saw Seth, so you need to make yours higher, or, because I needed to make mine higher than Final Chapter, which I think mine was a 73 for Final Chapter, if I'm not mistaken. But the funny thing is, Seth talked about how much his favorite was Final Chapter, how much it's the best. Here's a score for Jason Lives. Here's a score for Final Chapter. So which one's better? And this goes right into your. I told you the slash scores work because this goes right into what you were saying about you used to flip flop. 86% for both of them from you.
Yep.
I'm sure they're different from different categories are different, which I'm curious to see if you have. Cool. Okay, Buena. Okay, it's about Jennifer Cook. Yeah, she's hot. But yeah. Anyway, you like them both so much, and I call. I think did you do it for the John Carpenter list where you had a 2A, 2? No, it was the Halloween. You wanted to make Halloween 3 and maybe Halloween 2, 2A and 2B. I was like, no cop outs here.
Well, yeah, but that's only because like Halloween 3 is so like it's way more out of the box with Halloween than say New Beginning is with any of the Friday 13th, because at least with New Beginning it still fits within everything that comes before and after, whereas Halloween 3 is just so different, and I felt like it was doing a disservice to Halloween 3 to kind of stack it up against Michael Myers films, and then it was a disservice against the Michael Myers films to stack Halloween, to put Halloween 3 in between, because I love Halloween 2. That's my favorite Michael Myers sequel, but then Halloween 3 is technically my favorite sequel in the series. It's weird. I love both, so equally different reasons.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, I'm curious to see, um, where your your breakdown, because I know I've seen the part 4 one, but I haven't seen the part 6 one to see where everything what do you like better about part 4 according to the slash score versus part 6. I'm kind of curious to see that. Um, I can tell you mine if I had the paper. It's out in the living room actually. But I will tell you this, for me, this is the highest rated Friday the 13th movie for me on our list. So with that, obviously we do combine our scores. Jason Lives gets a up all night score of 82%, which I think is a decent score overall. What do you think?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think it's deserved. So with that, we can now rank the first 6 movies of the series. I'm missing one. Hold on. I had to count. I missed part 5's not on the list here, but yeah, we can rank. We can rent. God damn it! I can't talk today. We can rank the first 6 movies now that we have those scores. And again, we're gonna do this after we're done, but it's always fun to kind of get an idea of where we are with the rankings. So let's see. Shit. I think it's on my phone. I think that's why it's not on here. I erased all the damn Friday the 13th stuff because of last week. Let me see if it's on my phone still. Because I don't even remember the score at all. Oh, I do. I remember what it was. But I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. Also want a very good score. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this score, people, while I look for this thing? Seth, what are your thoughts? What are your farts? No, 57%. That damn it, that was Superman. Tell him a story, because that's going to take me a minute.
Well, I think 82% is really good, especially for a slasher film. I mean, Friday the 13th is not a series known for great characters and writing, you know, nothing deep. Um, but I think part 6 delivers on the entertainment level that kind of enhances it a bit. Um, yeah, it's just a fun slasher movie, and it is arguably one of the best in the series for good reason. But I mean, even with all the praise that I would give this movie, I mean, I know it's not like a fantastic movie. It's not like one of the best horror movies ever made, but it's fun. And yeah.
I'm still here. I'm just trying to find this in my phone and add it to the stream, but I saw it in there and now it's not in there. It's like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Because I want to show everybody the list. It's so cool, so cool.
Brewster.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just send it to my Facebook and then go from there because it's not letting me download it otherwise to the chat because that's why I put in the the extra me. So anyway, so you guys looking forward to the next one we're doing next week? We're doing the 7th movie, and then we're going to be wrapping this up hopefully after what? How many more weeks is that? 5 more weeks? I don't know. Which one are you looking forward to talking about the most? Because for me, I'm really like kind of excited about talking Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah, Jason Goes to Hell and then Jason X. I mean, it's been a while since I revisited those, so it'd be kind of fun to watch them again.
Yeah, the remake's going to be a good one. I like the remake.
Yes,
Uh,
the remake. Yeah, the remake is great.
yeah, I think I like it more than most people do. I had a lot of fun when it came out. I actually saw it twice back to back, like back to back days. I mean, not back to like leaving the theater and going back in. I've only done that for Star Wars. um, Multiple times too. I did it for Revenge of the Sith, and I did it for The Force Awakens. So, um, yeah, give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I fucking hate when I'm not prepared. This has been like the busiest week. I was telling him this has been one of the busiest weeks I've had in a long time. A lot of it had to do with getting all the stuff ready for our 2022 show, which ended up being 3 hours also. But it was a good show overall, I think.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, had a good time. I wasn't an asshole to everybody because of the list like I was last year. I was a complete dick about the list last year. I know I was. And that's the thing about me. I know when I'm being a dick. And then I realize it and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry guys. Can you ever forgive me?" And you're like, "No, fuck you." And I'm like, "Oh."
yeah.
Anyway, so I got it now. We're finally we can do this. We got some comments. Love getting comments. Oh man, this list is going to be wild when we're done. It's going to be really wild. I think. Um, American Express don't leave home without yes. Kane Hodder, baby. Yeah, the probably his best movie is Part 7, the next one. All right, so here we go. The top six Friday the 13th movies right now, up to Part 6. We've got Friday the 13th from 1980 is number 6. Friday the 13th Part 3 is number 5. Friday the 13th Part 5 is number 4. Coming in number 3 is Friday the 13th Part 2. Number 1, number 2, excuse me, is Part 4. And number 1 more than likely will end up being Jason Lives. Thank you, Seth, for that. If you would have been 7 points lower, this would be number 2. It would have ended up being a 79%.
I should have
But
strategized.
you had to be an honest engine. And actually, I take it back. I think I'm also looking forward to Jason Takes Manhattan because you hate that movie so much. I am so curious to see what you give that movie.
10.
Was Jason Goes to Hell like Curse of Michael Myers, where they started going into paranormal lore? Kind of, I guess. I don't know because Jason Goes to Hell. I mean, this is pretty paranormal. Jason lives. He's resurrected from the grave, from being dead. When in the last movie they said he was a pile of ashes. So I don't know. And then I mean, it was more of a cult. The Cult of the Thorn. It wasn't really as much paranormal, was it? The sixth movie.
No, well, I mean, it was never got to the point of being a body jumping worm that can resurrect through your new sisters, the JJ, with a hockey mask on.
I like Halloween 6. It's one of my favorites, and I don't care what anybody says about it. I like it.
Halloween 6 is fun.
It is, and I'll be honest. I can watch both cuts. I like the thing I like about the producer cut though is they've got it's got the Halloween feels, and the color grading's different, which makes it
And
look
more
more
Loomis.
fall. Hmm?
And more Loomis.
Oh yeah, absolutely more Loomis, and you cannot go wrong with more Loomis. Anyway, so that's our Jason Lives show. It's kind of a mess, and I'm sorry. Next week, hopefully, will be better. I won't have to do Well, shit. I did the other thing was doing the Superman show last week or this week. We did Superman. Which one did we do? Three. Finally, took us
Yeah,
forever. And
2 years.
yeah, and we're going to do Man of Steel on Monday on Rage of Razor. If you go subscribe to Rage of Razor, if you can follow it on Facebook, and we'll talk about Man of Steel, and then we will talk about Jason of Steel and, and part 7 next week on Friday. And I forgot. I don't know what our topic is for the Discourse show. I don't know if we have a topic yet.
I don't think we settled on one. I
No, I
don't think
don't think
we
so.
even discussed options. Well, didn't you have a list? I thought you had a list.
Well, Nate made a list, and that's like it may as well be from 6 years ago because trying to find that in the chat is going to be impossible. Um, but like he said something about doing movies we hadn't seen before, which I'd be totally down with if he doesn't choose Japanese movies because I like Japanese movies from the 60s or 50s or whatever. I have no interest in doing that. I just may
Yeah.
boycott the whole show and not watch those because I really don't want to watch those. I'm not. That's the thing. Like we were discussing how many movies we've seen, and Nate's closing in on 7,000 overall movies he's seen, which is insane to think about. And I have gotten. I'll pass probably 1,000 horror movies seen, different horror movies seen this year. But my regular movies, I may have only seen a total of 2,000 or more, just over more. And Keith at 26 has seen almost 2,400. I don't watch as many movies because I watch things that I think would interest me rather than just watching everything that I've heard of, or you know what I'm saying? Like I can't sit there and watch a bunch of shit that I have no interest in. You know, like Nate watches a lot of silent movies, and he's a filmmaker, so he watches a lot of stuff that are like pieces of art or art house type movies that I have no interest in seeing. You know, and sometimes he'll suggest something and I'll watch and I'll be like, oh, that's actually pretty good, but it's just like I will never watch another silent movie again for the rest of my life if I can't help it. I do not like them at all. They're boring. I can't handle it. And I'm glad we got through doing what do we do the canary, yellow canary or black canary, something cat and a canary, and then we did Nosferatu. And shit, man, if he brings up doing any other ones, I'm gonna be like, no, I'm not doing that. I know you're chomping at the bit to do that, but
I don't mind silent movies.
I can't fucking stand them. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. Anyway, so yeah, next week we'll have I don't know what we're gonna do for Discourse on Wednesday, but stick around. We are going to finish in the next day or so rating the Friday the 13th movies. Now we used to have this system called it was a 5-star rating system that was much easier for me. I might implement that again rather than this because I have to count them on. It's a pain in the ass, but I know it's been fun for everybody. But we did that in 2019, a little bit in 2022, and then I started dating somebody and lost interest in doing it. Also, there will be no brackets this year. I'm not doing the brackets this year.
No, you done?
No. That's not worth my time. I don't feel, and I'm saying this out loud, but I don't feel like it's appreciated by the followers almost at all. And I put a lot of time into that, and I got too much stuff to do now as it is. I create comics. We're doing 2 shows a week now, and I got my kids. I got job. I got job. I am job. And then we were doing that Monday thing too. So got other things I want to do. Anyway, I don't think anybody will even notice. I didn't even finish the last one in October.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, see, nobody even noticed. That's what I'm saying. Like I built the Horror Syndicate based off of that because of that. I was in a horror DVD and Blu-ray trading group, and I put up. Well, it was Day of the Dead versus Return of the Living Dead, and all these people. It had like 500 or 600 comments on it. There, people were going, and so I asked the admins if I could do like a bracket, like a March Madness bracket, and they said, "Yeah, sure, that's cool." And so I did it, and it was like huge. They loved it, and they wanted more brackets, and I asked. They're like, "No, one was enough." And I'm like, "Okay." And then one of the admins got really assholey with me. And he even I said, I'm sorry, man. We're just trying to have some fun. I'm dealing with a lot of stress. He's like, everybody's got stress. I was like, well, my wife has cancer and she's dying. He's like, well, fuck it. I hope your wife dies. I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you for that. So anyway, I left the group shortly after that, and I said, anybody wants to come with me? So I started Horror Movie Massacre, which is now the Horror Syndicate group. And then when I was doing that, I was like, I kind of wanted to start a horror website. So I started the Horror Syndicate and with Jared and Morgan and a few other people because that guy was an asshole.
Yeah, that's a dick thing to say to someone.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I reported him to Facebook. I don't know if they did anything about it, but he's like, I got 15,000 followers. What do you got? I was like, I'm not trying to have 15,000 followers currently. Cool flex, buddy.
What a prick.
Yeah. Told me websites are dead. I'm like, yeah, I guess. I mean, are they? Like, I would say no, because if you look at some of the numbers on the horrorsyndicate.com, we do pretty well. So anyway, that's all. I'm not going to bitch anymore. I am going to leave you guys with the fact that Jason Lives is unquestionably the best Friday the 13th movie, with the final chapter coming in at number 2. Seth, how about that?
I think there was a flaw in the system there.
A flaw in your system? Just saying.
Yeah. Had to have been.
I will say one good thing. It was a DVD trading group, and I got a lot of great deals on some movies that were out of print. So I will say I got something out of it. Plus, I became friends with Jared that way. Anyway, so yeah, next week we'll be doing part 7. It'll be fun. Hopefully I'll have my shit together and not be so tired. I also didn't sleep Monday. I told you about that. Sunday night to Monday, I didn't sleep at all.
Yeah.
What am I, 21? Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your Friday the 13th. Let me know which Friday the 13th movie you're going to end your night on. I'm ending mine on probably part 5. And then after that, I'm going to go to bed because I got a whole day tomorrow. More shit to do. Christ. Anyway, Seth, you got anything?
Nope.
Nothing? Not, I mean, I'm so angry you have nothing to say.
No.
All right.
Evil dies tonight.
Oh, you went with that instead. All right. Have a great night and go check out Rage of Rayzor, subscribe, all that stuff. We'll see you next week.